everybody. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm actually going to show you some footage of what my husband and I decided to do. We went to two plantations, and the reason that I did this is because my husband and I are always trying to find things for us to do, and we like doing things that we've either never done before or that we've never done together before. My co-worker told me that she went to Louisiana and visited two plantations down there. And I asked her, I was like, what made you decide to do that? Because to me, that's not something that somebody would just instinctively decide to do. But I guess it is because they have them all over the place. And she said that, you know, in today's climate, she just wanted to connect, you know, with her ancestors and to learn more about where her people come from and different things like that. She's not from Louisiana, but she's talking about the African-American culture, period. And so I thought that was very interesting because my husband, where he's from, they have plantations there. He's from Florida. They have plantations there. And I don't think that we've ever, I know we've taken the kids when they were younger to it's not a plantation. I can't remember what it's called. If I remember, I'll put it up here. But it's a place where they did what is it called? When they make things out of metal, and you know, like they do the horseshoes and the swords and the, you know, so it was a place like that. And I believe they had a ship that was decommissioned there also. And the kids really enjoyed it. The blacksmith that was working with the metal, he was making like these little coin shaped pieces. And you know, all the kids, when they came in, they got one. And so my kids got one, and they kept it for a long time, but I'm sure they have no earthly idea where it is. I don't have it. So I'm sure it probably got, you know, tossed out or something as they got older. Who knows? But yeah, so this, I'm actually going to cut the video up into two, because I have so much footage. I just don't want to make this one video. So I'm going to cover the first plantation we went to. And keep in mind, this plantation, there wasn't really, the only thing that was left on the property was the main house. And so we walked out there. It was a nice little walk. We walked out there. But whatever was left, they had the artifacts inside. And then they also, well, inside the welcome center. And then they had the, inside the welcome center, they also had like a little lab. And the lab is how they process the artifacts, you know, clean them off and get them ready for display and stuff like that. So I took video of all of that. And, but because of the fact that, the foundations were donated to the Texas Historical Commission, they have more than one site, you know, throughout the area. And these two plantations were in Sweeny, and we'd never been to Sweeny before. The second, so the first one we went to is called the Levi Jordan Plantation, and the second one that we went to is the Varner Hogg Plantation. We didn't have to pay to get into the Varner Hogg Plantation because the commission, if you go to one and you pay the entrance fee, they give you a receipt and give you information about the other plantation. So you are actually able to go to the second plantation without having to pay the entrance fee because you paid at the first one. And I thought that was really neat. The second plantation had way more stuff to see, and it was really worth the drive. So the area is a pretty good distance from where we are, but the two plantations that we went to see are about 20 minutes apart. So I was telling my husband, since it was just the main house to see and the artifacts at the first one, I said, why don't we, since we're already out here, why don't we go over to the other one and see what they have over there? Hopefully, you know, it'll be more stuff to see. And I'm glad we did. He did tell me that if for some reason we couldn't make it, you know, the same day, that the ticket was good. I believe he said for 2 years. So that was interesting because I was like, But yeah, so I will try to provide as much information as I possibly can on the plantations. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. I was telling my coworker who told me that she went to Louisiana. I did go, like, when we went to visit my mom. One time I did go to a wax museum, and the reason they're two completely different environments, but the reason that this was important is because at that stage in my life I was really heavily immersed in organized religion, and so I was really in touch with my spiritual. I was just really in touch back then, and when I walked in, and I thought that this was going to be a similar experience. But when I walked into the wax museum, they had a presidential setup on the left side. And that's the first thing that I immediately saw. But when I looked over to the right, they had Jesus being crucified. And y'all, I almost fell to my knees. Good thing it was a bench there, because I didn't feel like I was going to pass out. But I got so weak with remorse and anguish, and I mean, I was just bawling out of control, and I just kept saying, saying that I was sorry and we didn't know what we were doing, and I was just, for about maybe 15 to 20 minutes, I was a mess. I was just a mess. And when I tell you the conviction that was in my heart, you would think I crucified him myself the way that I was reacting, but that's how, in my heart, that's how I felt. I felt so broken, and I felt the pain of a mother watching her child being just abused, and so that was a very emotional time in my life. By the time I left the wax museum, that the feeling that I felt and the reaction that I had and the experience within itself stayed with me for a really long time. And it was with me in the sense that when I thought about it, I just start crying again. I mean, I was like that for about 3 or 4 months. Every time I thought about it, I just break down crying. And I don't know why in that moment in my life that was my reaction. But it was so hurtful. It was just so hurtful. And so thinking about the enslaved people and how, they were ripped from their home, and some of them separated from their family, and all the stuff that these people who came before me went through. All I could think about was what happened when I went to the wax museum. I was like, I just, in my heart, felt like that's what this experience was going to be like. And it wasn't, but it's not to say that I didn't have compassion and I didn't have sympathy for the people who live this life. I just, I didn't have the same experience, or I didn't have the experience that I thought I was going to have. So anyway, I want you to go ahead and enjoy the video and leave me a comment below about if you can remember an experience that caused you to have, like, to impact you in a really strong emotional way. Leave me a comment below just saying, leave me a heart emoji. Leave me a heart emoji. If you've ever had an experience that really caused you to be heavily emotionally impacted like that, just leave me a heart emoji. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into the video. Thank y'all for joining me. And if I don't see y'all at the end of the video, thank you for coming. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And for those who are new here, thank you for clicking on my video. Please consider joining, subscribing to the channel. Those of you who've been subscribed, I appreciate you for still rocking with the fam bam. But y'all go ahead and you have a wonderful day. Bye now.
you're not already a member of the Fetch fam, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and download that app, scan my QR code, and get to scanning those receipts. You might as well take advantage of it. You're already spending the money. The receipts translates into points, the points translates into cash, and you can redeem that cash via store card or cash card, or you can donate to charity. Well, all right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, but you know we don't do so without saying, love yourself, love somebody else, and until next time, y'all take care. Bye.